Chevrolet Traverse in stock, all redesigned from front to back, top to bottom, inside and out. Come see them today. We have got a great selection of these new Traverses ready for you to take home. And also, we got great discounts on our Silverado trucks. We got the regular cab, crew cab, double cabs, discounted up to $9,000 off. Great selection. Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, right on I-40.
I'm here. Hi, everyone. Turned down the wrong thing there. You want to hear my voice, don't you? Welcome to the Scoreboard, everyone. 844 Studio 4. That's phone number 844-788-3464. I believe we may be back, ladies and gentlemen. I can stand again. Ankles feeling better. Energy's high. It's been a good day. Up until not long ago, okay? I had to change my headlight on my car. And I don't like working on headlights. I'm going to rant for just a minute because I've never seen a car designed so terribly to where I can't even fit a finger into the little space where I'm supposed to change this headlight. I feel like I'm going to have to take off so many things just to change this stupid light. Maybe I'm making it more complicated than it is. That's always a possibility. But it's annoying. It's really annoying. Because I go out there, I cut my hand on the thing. Like, look at this. I mean, shouldn't headlights be easy to change? Right? It's like, it goes bad. You know it goes bad. Why not leave room for you to put your hand in it and, change the light? I'm a little annoyed. I really am. Because I got pulled over for this. Like, I got pulled over the other day. Didn't know my light was out, right? My headlight was out. And the officer, nice enough, he just said, get it fixed. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm getting it fixed, but I can't. I can't. I don't know what to do. This isn't how I wanted to start the show. Maybe I should have saved this for another time, trying to change this stupid light. How many radio show hosts does it take to change a headlight on a car? Well, more than me, because I can't do it, apparently. Change the shocks, alternators, starters, rotors, brakes. Can't do the stupid light. I'm very annoyed, if you can't tell. Because I went back out there not long ago, right before the show started. And I said, you know what? Let's take a deep breath, try and do this again. No. Doesn't work. Does not work. So we're not going to talk about racing today. We're not going to talk about cars because I'm mad at cars. Not the Cars franchise, but like cars in general. We're not talking NASCAR. Save it for another day. I am so frustrated. 844 Studio 4. That's 844-788-3464. I'll try to put this behind me. I'll try to put the anger behind me and get into the world of sports because there's a lot going on in that world. The volleyball regular season ended, and we are getting through those conference championships, and we haven't made it all the way through quite yet. Today, we're going to get into that a little bit, let you know where we stand in volleyball, because conference championships have been going on. Now, I did say the regular season ended, and I was going to circle back around to volleyball, and today's the day we're going to do it, because conference tournaments, they're important. They are. I know your standing, like where you are in the standings matters and all that, but, it doesn't matter if you could just, win the conference championship, win in the tournament. So we're going to get into the world of volleyball today. I was letting you know about Pine Lake in the year that they had. going 18-4 in the regular season. They beat Christ the King High School in the semifinals. They split in the regular season. Both games were 3-set sweeps, 3-0. But in the playoffs here, or in the conference tournament, I should say, the conference tournament semifinals, Pine Lake and Christ the King, well, they went all 5 sets. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. There's other things going on in the world of sports as well, like we've been talking about Major League Baseball playoffs. The ALCS, the American League Championship Series between the Guardians and the New York Yankees. Game 2 was last night. And it was a interesting game. There was a lot. It was a long game. Okay, I will say that. It was one of the longer baseball games of the year. The game ended around 11 o'clock. And it started at about 7:30. That's a long baseball game. I thought they were trying to get away from that. But, you know, the problem with baseball is not how long the game is. It's never been how long the game is. It's just the action that you see during the game and how much or how little there is. Playoffs, everything is considered action. 2 strikes in the bottom of the second with 2 outs, fans are on their feet. Because every little moment in Major League Baseball playoffs is so important. So we'll talk about the Yankees and the Guardians game. Tomorrow, we have a football game, a Thursday night football game. Now, we're not going to spend too much time on this, and I do want to circle back around to the NFL later on in the show because we didn't spend all that much time on the trades that happened yesterday, with Devontae Adams being sent to the Jets, with Amari Cooper being sent to the Bills, and I think that there's more important things to look at here because I don't know if that's the only thing that those teams are going to do. Like the Jets. The Jets have just given Hassan Reddick the permission to speak with other programs, other teams about a new contract and a trade. The Jets were supposed to have Hassan Reddick. They never had him in the regular season. He's been holding out. I don't know who's going to want a guy who's held out for 2 teams in a row, but who knows? Maybe the Jets are able to get some decent value for him. And when they do get rid of him, do they then use the capital that they got from that trade to get a pass rusher for this year? Just some of the things that are on my mind in the world of the NFL. There's other sports going on as well. The NCAA made some news today. And we talked about this on Monday with Ohio State and Oregon. What a game that was. And how Oregon put 12 men on the field at the end of the game, almost saying, yeah, we're going to put 12 men on the field, knowing that we're not really going to get that big of a penalty for it. It's only going to be 5 yards, and the clock is going to run, but we're also going to guarantee that you don't score because we have an extra guy on the field. Well, the NCAA acted quickly on that one. They were not fans of that. Although it was using a lot of brains, the NCAA was not happy about that one. They may have changed the rule. We'll talk about that and more here on the Scoreboard today. We got a good show lined up for you here today on the program. When we come back from our first commercial break, we are going to get into high school volleyball. Conference playoffs going on, conference tournaments happening. We're going to let you know who's doing good and who to look forward to when we get into the playoffs. Seeding is going to take place on Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's been a good year for volleyball in the area. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Keep it right here. We'll have more of the Scoreboard with Joe Berg in just a moment from 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, dare I say, you might want to keep a jacket within close reach over the next few days. Our weather is quite chilly. Partly cloudy. Temperatures warm into the upper 50s and low 60s this afternoon, but it will be a bit breezy from time to time. Mostly clear tonight. Temperatures drop into the upper 30s for most of us around the lake. A couple of spots could even wake up to some patchy frost Thursday morning. Sunny and cool with low 60s for our Thursday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like Nina's Boutique.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Lost Worlds Brewing Company in Cornelius presents their Sunday Fun Day on October 20th. Fleetwood Mac tribute band The Chain and Untethered Soul with frontman Nick Prestia take the stage for a day of live music. Lost Worlds Brewing is ready to welcome a big crowd to their back parking lot with a concert stage and sound system from Waves Entertainment. Lost Worlds off West Catawba Avenue in Cornelius presents Sunday Fun Day with an outdoor concert on October 20th. Monthly trivia with the WSIC gang is back at Micaiah's in Mooresville on October 22nd. Join us at Micaiah's off exit 33 from I-77 for Halloween-themed trivia on Tuesday night, October 22nd at 8 p.m. Trivia winners will receive a family 4-pack of tickets to the Renaissance Festival. Have some October spooky season fun with WSIC on-air hosts and try to win Renfest tickets with Halloween trivia Tuesday, October 22nd at Micaiah's in Mooresville. The Dirt Track at Charlotte Motor Speedway presents the World of Outlaws World Finals on the 6th of November through the 9th. Catch Dirt Racing's top 3 series in a title-deciding 4-day showcase of on-track action, featuring the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, and the Super Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds. Single-day and 4-day ticket packages and camping information are all available at charlottemotorspeedway.com. Often imitated, never duplicated. The World of Outlaws World Finals invade the Charlotte Motor Speedway Dirt Track on the 6th of November through the 9th. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
The Renaissance Festival is back, Saturdays and Sundays, now through November 24th. Jousting nights, mermaids, fairies, dragons, oh my! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Don't miss it!
Be a part of the conversation.
We can't fix America's debt by starving its people.
Have your say.
One shooting after another, and we're doing nothing to solve it?
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Who is this? This is 105.9 100.7.
WSIC Local starts here.
The Scoreboard with Joe Berg continues now on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here on the Scoreboard. 844 Studio 4 is the phone number. That's if you have something on your mind that you'd like to talk about. I am here for you. Getting into the high school volleyball scene. Conference championships going on soon. A lot of conference tournaments happening as well. We're going to get into that right now, actually. That is our next topic that we're going to discuss. And we're going to start going from teams that could have done better this year all the way up to teams that did really good this year. Starting with the school in our backyard, Statesville High School. Now, we've been covering Statesville High School and their football team and how well they've been doing this year. Unfortunately, the volleyball team did not fare anywhere near as well as the football team did this year, because the volleyball team went 0-15 this year. Yes, you heard me correctly. Unfortunately, the Statesville varsity girls volleyball team had a really rough year, not winning a single game, and they only won 2 sets on the year. That was against West Iredell way back in mid-September. Actually, a month ago to the day. Not to the day, but just about a month ago. I don't know. I don't know what to say other than I'm sorry that they've had such a poor year. That's really unfortunate. Moving on. As I sneeze. Excuse me. Another team that didn't fare all that well this year was West Iredell. The Warriors, now they did a little bit better than Statesville High School did. We got to give them credit there. West Iredell went 2-17. Both of those wins came in conference games, and both of those wins were against Statesville High School. They won 7 sets on the year while dropping 53 and ended the year on a poor 7-game losing streak, losing in the first round of the conference tournament to Hickory High School on the road. I do want to get into some teams that did a little bit better this year, and lucky for us, those are really the only two that had bad years. Now we're going to get into some teams that are really looking to progress, maybe haven't progressed, maybe they are progressing through their conference tournaments, starting with Mooresville High School. Now they've had a okay year. They won 34 sets and dropped 35. That translated into an 8-11 record for them on the year. Now, unfortunately, they did lose their final 2 games of the year. The final regular season game against Lake Norman and the first round of the conference tournament for them against Hickory Ridge High School, who had an absolutely great year, I must say. Well, maybe not great, but a good year. So Mooresville, with that 8-11 record and a loss in the first round of the conference tournament, I just don't think that they're going to be able to make the playoffs on this one. Hovering around 500 and not getting to 500 is ultimately, in my opinion, going to cost them. Now, their rival, Lake Norman High School, had a different story. They went 17-3 on the year, and they were 11-1 in conference, which tied them for first in the 4A Greater Metro. But something happened. In the conference tournament, round 1 against West Cabarrus was a win. But the next school that we're going to talk about, South Iredell High School, ran into Lake Norman in the second round. And guess what? South Iredell, with a 17-9 record, third in the 4A Greater Metro Conference, they upset Lake Norman High School, winning 3-2 and pushing them on to the conference championship game, which is going to be going on tonight, I might add, against Cox Mill High School. Now, it's going to be at Cox Mill in Concord, so not a home game for South Iredell, but a great run here in the conference tournament is going to give them a leg up when it comes to playoff seeding, which we are going to have on Sunday. Keep that in mind. Another school in the area that's been doing really well in the volleyball scene is North Iredell. Oh my goodness. If you would have told me that North Iredell would see the results that they've seen after the way they started the season, I would have thought you were crazy. South Iredell started the year 3-2. A decent start, might I add. But after that 3-2 start, and after the loss to Ashe County, North Iredell went on an unbelievable run. They won their next 20 matches, including 14 of which were in conference. They're continuing their dominance all the way to the conference championship game, where they will take on none other than Hickory High School. Hickory was second to North Iredell in the conference standings in the 3A Western Foothill Conference, but these two programs are going to meet in a conference championship game. They're probably both going to be going to the playoffs, but conference championship it's nice. One more school that I want to bring up here is my alma mater, Pine Lake Volleyball. Remember, we had Coach Polk in earlier on the year with player Emily James. She joined us as well. Pine Lake ended the year really well. They're going into the conference championship game tonight as they've won their first 2 conference tournament games against Langtree Charter. And that win against Christ the King that I told you about Tonight, Pine Lake will be on the road against CSD at 6 o'clock for the conference championship game. A road game, 2 losses on the year to the Community School of Davidson for Pine Lake. I'm pulling for those girls. I hope they get it done. It'd be nice to see a conference championship for Pine Lake varsity women's volleyball, I should say. Now, we're going to update you tomorrow as well on these conference championships because we have a few schools in the area who are going to be competing. And I'm not going to make you wait until Monday to get the seeding to see, how everybody did. So tomorrow we're going to review these conference championship games and continue to update you. Monday we will have the playoff brackets as the seeding takes place on Sunday. So when we come to the scoreboard on Monday, I will be able to let you know who made it and who's playing who. It's going to be a fun time next week. Gosh, playoffs already for volleyball. Who would have thought? Congratulations to everybody on their season. I do want to move into some things that are in the news as of late. And one big one that came out late afternoon was a release by the NCAA in which they issued a new rule interpretation on how to handle a penalty for 12 players on the field in the final 2 minutes of either half. If the defense has 12 players actively participating in the down, the offense can choose, along with the 5-yard penalty, to have the game clock reset to the time that had been displayed at the snap. No time change would be made if there were 12 players, but one of them was attempting to leave the field and did not affect the play. And I think Oregon coach Dan Lanning probably wishes that he'd kept his mouth shut. He went, hey, this is what we did. We put 12 guys out there. Yeah, because we knew the penalty was that they'd get only 5 yards and, well, the time still runs off the clock. Meanwhile, we had an extra player on the field. Here's the quote. We spend an inordinate amount of time on situations, and some situations don't come up very often in college football, but this was obviously something we worked on. You can see the result. Speaks for itself right there. He basically said, yeah, we cheated on purpose. We knew that this is like what Bill Belichick did a few years ago, where he just kept letting the play clock run down and take the delay of game because they were getting declined. And the play clock just kept going. I love rules that get exploited, but I also don't like when they get fixed. Because that's no fun. I think it's pretty funny, though, that the NCAA immediately said, no, we're not doing this. This isn't happening. We haven't even gotten to the next week of college, the next Saturday of college football, I should say, because as you know, there are always college football games going on. It is that time of year where you basically have sports every single day. And tonight we do have college football games. So props to the NCAA for making a change that's effective and doing it before games on 3 days? Good job. I can't believe I'm saying that. Good job, NCAA. We got to head to our next commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk a little Major League Baseball. We have a game tonight. It's game number 3 between the Mets and the Dodgers. And we'll recap what happened last night between the Guardians and the Yankees. Got a lot of show left. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back right after this.
More of Sports Director Joe Berg's The Scoreboard is coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, dare I say, you might want to keep a jacket within close reach over the next few days. Our weather is quite chilly. Partly cloudy. Temperatures warm into the upper 50s and low 60s this afternoon, but it will be a bit breezy from time to time. Mostly clear tonight. Temperatures drop into the upper 30s for most of us around the lake. A couple of spots could even wake up to some patchy frost Thursday morning. Sunny and cool with low 60s for our Thursday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Drum Landscape Supply is the go-to spot for anything you need for your yard. Transform your landscaping. Drum Landscape Supply has trees, flowers, natural stone, custom blended grass seed, mulch, and more. Plus, they deliver. DrumLandscapeSupply.com.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Johnson's Parts and Supply, your Auto Plus auto parts store for 42 years, carries a full line of Wix filters for cars, trucks, and all types of heavy-duty equipment. Johnson's Auto Parts, your Auto Plus auto parts store, 1112 Shelton Avenue, Statesville.
Have you taken the Desco Challenge? Desco is where the professional goes for electrical supplies.
My name is Ashley. I just redid the lighting in my home, and the customer experience at Desco was second to none.
See for yourself at DescoInc.com.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce. If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call this special debt relief hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now at 800-810-2191. 800-810-2191. 800-810-2191. That's 800-810.
Conversations that matter.
I gotta tell you, I'm afraid to even think about the next presidential election.
Led by you.
It's a mockery of American politics.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
I'm Bryce Johnson with this Unpacking It Sports and Faith Minute. As sports fans, we love seeing elite athletes bounce back from serious injuries to return to performing at a high level. In life, we all go through seasons where we end up broken, disappointed, injured, worn out, and beat up, and in need of restoration. When we look at Scripture, we see over and over again that God is a restorer. He takes people that are broken and revives them. The Bible says, "And after you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace, who has called you to his eternal glory in Christ, will himself restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you." Today, if we feel injured, broken, or worn out, let's find our hope in the God of restoration and ask him to restore us and get us back on the field to do the work he's called us to do. I'm Bryce Johnson, and you can unpack that. For more, go to unpackingit.com.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Tech stocks retreated today, but it didn't hold back Wall Street. The Dow hit another new high, up 337.75%. The S&P was up 27, close to 0.5%. The Nasdaq added 51.25%. United Airlines shares gained altitude today, closing up 12%. The carrier posted better than expected results last quarter, and its outlook for the current quarter is in line with Wall Street expectations. Airbus is said to be planning to cut as many as 2,500 jobs at its defense and space division. The aircraft manufacturer has struggled to turn around the business, which is suffering from high costs and some programs that are delayed. The gender wage gap is widening. It's the first time that's happened in 20 years. The Census Bureau says wages are growing for all workers, just much faster for men. It's an indication many women have paid a price for leaving the workforce at the height of the pandemic, either because they lost their jobs or because they quit due to caretaking responsibilities. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
Talk sports with Joe Berg. Call 844-STUDIO-4. It's the Scoreboard on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
halfway point on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Hey, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. 844 Studio 4. That's 844-788-3464. If you have something on your mind that you want to talk to me about, I'm here. We got about 25 minutes left on the program today, so don't hesitate. Call in if you have something you want to chat about. We're going to talk baseball now. The LCSs are going on. The ALCS, the NLCS. Last night, it was the ALCS that was going on as the Guardians and the Yankees squared off in game number 2 of this 7-game series. The New York Yankees came out victorious in this one. Yankee pitcher Clay Holmes ends up getting the win. Unfortunately, Tanner Beebe did not do well in his outing, giving up, well, he only, this is all you need to know. He gave up 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 unearned run, and only lasted an inning and a third. As a tough outing there for the Guardians. The one good thing I will say, okay, so before we get into the game, final score, the New York Yankees win 6-3. They take a 2-0 series lead as this series tomorrow heads back to Cleveland. There were a lot of runners left on base for the Guardians in this game. A lot of them. And I don't know if that's a positive or a negative for the Guardians as you look forward because the opportunities were there. I mean, you get the bases loaded with nobody out and you expect to score. You expect to get more than a couple of runs in. But it didn't happen. They load the bases again. Didn't happen. So they're getting the opportunities. The opportunities are there and they're just not capitalizing. I think the one really big positive to take away from this game, Jose Ramirez has not had a very good postseason, only batting 167 right now. But he hit a home run. He hit his first home run of the series, a series that he has been struggling mightily in. I guess that's a positive to see Ramirez. I'm grasping at straws here, man. Because the way it looked through games 1 and 2, it looked like this series could be over quick. Not quite like the New York and LA series that we're seeing between the Dodgers and the Mets. But this one just, it has a different feel, man. It really does. Game 3 of the Yankees and Guardians is going to be tomorrow. Clark Schmidt will take the mound for the Yankees while Matthew Boyd gets the rock for the Guardians. Now, the key to this one, I will say, for Cleveland is to get out to a lead here. Get out to an early lead. In game 1, you let the Yankees put up 3 runs in the third and then another one in the fourth. And it was 4-0 early. Last night, you let the Yankees get a run in the first and 2 runs in the second. Those are early leads that the Yankees are getting. For Cleveland, the key is going to be to jump on the Yankees early. If they're not leading by the end of the second inning, they might be in trouble because I don't think that their pitcher is going to last all that long. Matt Boyd's not going to go very long. Clark Schmidt probably won't go all that long, to be honest with you. I do think that the Yankees are going to come out victorious in this series. It just feels like the Guardians are running on borrowed time right now. I really thought the Tigers were going to win that series, and I feel bad for Detroit. I think a Detroit-New York series would have been a lot more entertaining for the ALCS. We've seen the Guardians here before. We've seen them in the World Series a few years ago, almost a decade ago now. Wow. But for the Tigers, it's like, man, first time back in how long? Would have been nice to see them in an ALCS, but it wasn't meant to be. Tonight we have more baseball. It's going to be the New York Mets taking on the LA Dodgers. That game is going to be in Shea Stadium. First pitch, you guessed it, 8:08 It is on the 8-minute mark of the hour. Don't understand it. It makes no sense to me, but that's what we got, an 8:08 first pitch. It'll be Walker Buehler on the mound for the LA Dodgers, who is 0-1 with a 10.8 ERA in these playoffs, squaring off against Luis Severino, the right-handed pitcher with a 1-0 record this postseason and a 4.5 ERA. This one feels like a toss-up to me. I don't know where this series is going to go, because I really thought that the Dodgers were going to take hold of it in their home stadium, but the Mets jumped all over the Dodgers in the first 2 innings of Game 2, that is. And the Mets, obviously, they come out victorious in that one. Man, sometimes when you get to this point of the season, you're like, yeah, I have a feeling we know who's going to be playing for the World Series. Now, it wasn't like that last year. Last year was a complete wild card on both ends. But right now you have an American League Series where you can look at it objectively and go, do the Guardians really have a chance here, or are we pulling at strings and just hoping that we have an entertaining ALCS? I think we are going to have an entertaining NLCS. This series very well could go 7 games. And if it does, I'm taking the Dodgers just because they're home. But it is possible that we see the Mets win the next 3 games. We could also see the Dodgers win the next 3 games. You never know with these two teams. The Dodgers had the most wins in the regular season this year. The Mets, the hottest team at the end of the regular season, besides the Tigers, who were easily the hottest team in baseball. But the Mets were like 12 games out of the playoffs late in the year, and they had that run. I remember it was, I think it was mid-August, late August, where they went on a run, and all of a sudden it was like, hey, the Mets are back in contention. And now here they are, riding that momentum all the way to Game 3 of the NLCS, where they're tied 1-1 with the Dodgers. This is going to be a very important game. I don't think that the winner of this game necessarily is going to win the series. Game 3 could be a decisive one at times, but in a 7-game series, I think we're going to go quite farther than what we have in the past few series. We only had 2 of those go the distance. No wild card games went the distance, and no divisional series went the distance either, all of them being decided. I'm sorry, let me back up. 2 divisional series went the distance. The Dodgers and the Padres, Guardians and Tigers, they went all 5 games. None of them went 3 games for the wild card. I think we could see 1 game go the distance into a Game 7, and I think that's going to be in the National League. Maybe the Guardians surprise us when they get home. That game's going to be tomorrow, though. So tonight, we got the Dodgers and the Yankees. Big game, 8:08. 8:08 is going to be the first pitch. We're going to take our final break of the program here. We got 1 segment remaining. I don't want anybody disappearing on me. Don't turn that dial. Don't turn off that stream. Don't close your app out yet. Are you listening to us on the WSIC News app? You can listen, you can watch, you can send us lines. It's a pretty cool app. Check it out, iOS and Google Play Store. 1 segment remaining here on the Scoreboard. Don't go anywhere. We're back after this.
More of Sports Director Joe Berg's The Scoreboard is coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, dare I say, you might want to keep a jacket within close reach over the next few days. Our weather is quite chilly. Partly cloudy. Temperatures warm into the upper 50s and low 60s this afternoon, but it will be a bit breezy from time to time. Mostly clear tonight. Temperatures drop into the upper 30s for most of us around the lake. A couple of spots could even wake up to some patchy frost Thursday morning. Sunny and cool with low 60s for our Thursday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Lost Worlds Brewing Company in Cornelius presents their Sunday Fun Day on October 20th. Fleetwood Mac tribute band The Chain and Untethered Soul with frontman Nick Prestia take the stage for a day of live music. Lost Worlds Brewing is ready to welcome a big crowd to their back parking lot with a concert stage and sound system from Waves Entertainment. Lost Worlds off West Catawba Avenue in Cornelius presents Sunday Fun Day with an outdoor concert on October 20th. Monthly trivia with the WSIC gang is back at Micaiah's in Mooresville on October 22nd. Join us at Micaiah's off exit 33 from I-77 for Halloween-themed trivia on Tuesday night, October 22nd at 8 p.m. Trivia winners will receive a family 4-pack of tickets to the Renaissance Festival. Have some October spooky season fun with WSIC on-air hosts and try to win Renfest tickets with Halloween trivia Tuesday, October 22nd at Micaiah's in Mooresville. The Dirt Track at Charlotte Motor Speedway presents the World of Outlaws World Finals on the 6th of November through the 9th. Catch Dirt Racing's top 3 series in a title-deciding 4-day showcase of on-track action, featuring the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, and the Super Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds. Single-day and 4-day ticket packages and camping information are all available at charlottemotorspeedway.com. Often imitated, never duplicated. The World of Outlaws World Finals. Invade the Charlotte Motor Speedway Dirt Track on the 6th of November through the 9th. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays, now through November 24th. Jousting nights, mermaids, fairies, dragons, oh my! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Don't miss it!
The Ugly Antenna has now become a household name in this area. The Ugly Antenna allows those without a streaming provider to receive up to 50 channels absolutely free of charge, including Fox 46.1. The Ugly Antenna is small and connects directly to your TV. Get the Ugly Antenna for just $40. Call 704-682-1755. That's 704-682-1755 for the Ugly Antenna.
The Scoreboard with Joe Berg continues now on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
I was wrong. My apologies. The Mets and the Brewers went 3 games in the wild card. My bad. That's on me, Coach. Me. Take me out. Sit me down. I don't deserve to be in anymore. I let the team down. We're going to try to clean it up here in the final segment. No mistakes. No more mistakes here in the final segment. Although, mistakes happen. I mean, PTI, they have that final segment where they go through their mistakes from the show of the day. Like, it happens. There's a lot of information going on up here. But we're always here to have fun. That's the number one priority. 844-STUDIO-4. That's 844-788-3464. If you have a word you want, a line you want to throw me before the end of the program. I'm going to be here for the next 10 minutes. That's all the time you got. We talked a little bit earlier about the rule change that the that the NCAA made. I think it's so funny that they 3 days later changed the rule so that if you have 12 men on the field and they actually play with 12 men, you're going to get penalized. You're going to get the yardage and the time's going to stay on the clock. But I think that had to happen. You know, once you see it for the first time, what stops another team from doing the same thing? Exactly. You know, like during a Hail Mary, like what stops a team from putting 13 people out there? And I don't know if it necessarily says it has to be 12 people, but like if it specifically reads 12 people, what happens if you put 13? By rule, would it still be the same? I'm just messing around. I know. I do want to go back into football, though. The NFL and some of the things that happened yesterday with the Jets trading for the Raiders wide receiver, Devontae Adams, and the Bills trading for the Browns wide receiver, Amari Cooper. Now, I think the Bills are probably going to be the ones to enjoy their acquisition more than the Jets. I don't think that the wide receiver core is the problem for the Jets. I'm not even close to the problem for the Jets. But, you know, sometimes when you have a quarterback who is allowed to get whatever he wants a wide receiver. Now he wants a wide receiver. And, you know, the Jets offense, it did look better on Monday night against the Bills, but it still wasn't great. You know, they had so many penalties. I mean, just a ridiculous amount of penalties. One of them taking points off the board and causing a 7-point swing because the field goal was missed. There were 2 field goals missed late in that game by the Jets. Was Rodgers clamoring for a new kicker? I'm curious. He seems to think that wasn't the problem. But I think the Bills are going to enjoy their acquisition a lot better because when you look at the Bills and their current depth chart at wide receiver, it was not great. Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, the rookie, Matt Collins, who's questionable, Curtis Samuel, and now you throw Amari Cooper in there. That's a much better wide receiving core. And I think that it's going to work for the Bills more because Josh Allen has said in not as many words that he enjoys playing with no true number 1 receiver this year. And I just don't think Amari Cooper is the superstar that everybody made him out to be coming out of Alabama. I think he's a very, very serviceable wide receiver, but I don't necessarily think that he is going to come into Buffalo and say, okay, I'm the guy. I need my touches. I think he's going to mold in. He's been to a few different teams now. He's got to find his footing eventually. And, you know, he's on a team that if things break correctly for them, they could be looking at another Super Bowl run. I say another, like they've been to it in the past few years, but they've been to the AFC Championship game. They got blown out by the Chiefs. It wasn't a really close game, but they've been there before. No reason to believe that the Bills can't do it again. And I think they can. I do. I just think things have to break right for them. Are they the favorite? No, I don't think they're anywhere near the favorite right now. But with a new wide receiver, a new shiny wide receiver, that team better not abandon the run. And I know James Cook was injured. He didn't play on Monday night. But they better not abandon the run because the Bills have made a living this year on the run game. And the passing game complementing the run game. Just because you get a new wide receiver and just because you get a new weapon does not mean that you should be abandoning the game plan that got you to where you want. You're 4-2. That's not a terrible place to be. I know we were talking about it last week, almost, you know, tongue in cheek, like, hey, if the Bills lose to the Jets are going to be in first place in the division. Did we really think that it was going to be possible? Maybe during the game at one point you probably took a step back and said, hold on, the Jets are in this game. They could win this thing. And I still think it's funny that the Jets are worse through 6 games this year than they were last year. All that drama, Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers isn't healthy. We would have been a Super Bowl contender last year. Well, you're worse off this year than you were last year at the same time. We have some good games coming up in the NFL this weekend. Tomorrow night, it'll be the Broncos and the Saints, a couple of mediocre teams so far this year. I don't know how many eyes that one's going to draw. But if you want to watch it tomorrow night, you got to remember Amazon Prime. It's not going to be on TV. It's not going to be on a streaming site. It's going to be on Amazon Prime Video. For the Panthers, they go on the road to take on the Washington Commanders. I do not think that this is a game that they're going to win. Jaden Daniels looks like the real deal out there, and that's about all I'll say. Now, lining up my predictions on the Panthers with where they are right now, the only difference is I had them winning against the Falcons and going 2-4 into this week, other than 1-5, which is what they are right now. And there are a few 1-5 teams in the league so far this year, the Jaguars being one of them. Now, there's actually quite a few. The Rams, the Titans, the Panthers, the Browns, the Jaguars, and the Patriots all currently having one win on the season. Now, I don't think the Rams are going to stay this bad for this long. I think they'll end up turning it around. The Browns, the Jaguars, are they back to the disappointments that they were in the 2000s and the early 2010s? Maybe. I mean, they've been the laughingstock of the NFL the past few years. Maybe not the past few years, but they were for a while. The Jaguars, they go to the playoffs. They have that comeback win against the Chargers. It was against the Chargers. You had the Browns. Remember a few years ago when the Browns made the playoffs and they beat the Steelers up, man? That was with Baker. I know the Browns are mad they got rid of Baker. Maybe the Panthers are mad they got rid of Baker as well. Do you think David Tepper's up there in the booth on Sundays going, man, I wish we would have held on to Baker Mayfield? That guy's balling right now. And I always thought Baker was a good quarterback, but he seems to have found his spot to play right now in Tampa Bay. And that's a winnable division, too. I could see the Buccaneers winning that division and going to the playoffs. I could see them going to the playoffs anyway. Coming up on the end of the program here, you know how we like to do it at the end of the show. Go over some things that happened on this day in sports history. Quite a bit of things happened on this day. We are going to go with Formula One. Fernando Alonso wins the season-ending Chinese Grand Prix at Shanghai International Circuit. He was the first Spanish Formula One driver's champion. He won it by 21 points over Kimi Räikkönen on this day in 2005. And Fernando Alonso still racing in Formula One. 1 year before that, 2004, 17-year-old Lionel Messi makes his league debut for FC Barcelona in a 1-0 win against crosstown rival Espanyol at the Estadi Olímpic Luis Campañas in Barcelona. I don't know if I said any of that correctly. 1991, Roy Tarpley became the 7th player in the NBA to be banned for life under the league's anti-drug agreement. Now, we've seen a player get banned for life here recently with the gambling problem. You know, we've seen that as of late, but I didn't even know about the anti-drug agreement that got players banned for life. Let's get one way back when. Let's do this. 1912, the Boston Red Sox beat the New York Giants 3-2 at Fenway Park to clinch a 4-3-1 series lead. The series extended to 8 games, as one game was a tie due to darkness. Did anybody else know that? I didn't. Have a good night, everyone. We're out of time on the day. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place here on the Scoreboard.